About 6 years ago, Ms. Heard brought these disturbing criminal acts against me.
Ms. Heard, you just testified that this case has been very hard for you. So let's talk about that and why.
All right.
Your lies have been exposed to the world multiple times, right?
I haven't lied about anything I've been here to say.
Johnny Depp is finally breaking his silence, exposing the truth about Amber Heard, her alleged ties to Epstein, and the real reason she pulled him into one of the most watched legal battles in Hollywood history. Sources close to the case say this was never purely about revenge. It was misdirection. While Amber was systematically dismantling Depp's name and career, Ghislaine Maxwell was sitting in a courtroom, and Amber was terrified. Terrified that her own alleged connections to Epstein's network would rise to the surface. She needed a spectacle, something loud enough to drown everything else out. Johnny Depp became that spectacle. So what exactly did Amber Heard know about Epstein? And what was it about Ghislaine Maxwell's trial that had her running scared?
It is. And you were speaking with Mr. Depp?
Yes.
And you said to Mr. Depp, quote, you can please tell people that it was a fair fight and see what the jury and the judge think. Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them Johnny Depp, Johnny Depp, a man, a victim too of domestic violence. End quote. That's what you said.
April 2022. The world stopped and stared. The trial of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard didn't just make headlines, it consumed them. Television, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, news blogs, Twitter, Telegram, Reddit, and even Netflix, nowhere was safe from it.
What you need to know about the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial coming up this week.
Please state your full name.
Yeah. What is this?
Jason Momoa. Mr. Momoa, do you know Amber Heard?
Whether people sought it out or not, social media was buried under clips and heated debate about the trial for weeks on end. Yet during that exact same window, another courtroom battle was quietly unfolding, the trial of Ghislaine Maxwell. And unlike the Depp-Heard circus, Maxwell's proceedings received almost no coverage, deliberately muted. While one trial played out on every screen imaginable, the other was methodically kept in the dark. That contrast alone demands serious questions about who holds influence over media narratives. It's widely known that Epstein's web of scandal pulled in some of the most powerful names on the planet, wealthy, famous, allegedly deeply involved in what happened on that private island. Donald Trump, Prince Andrew, Bill Clinton, Kevin Spacey, all names surfacing in connection with Epstein's gatherings. Some believe elite circles worked deliberately behind the scenes to bury Maxwell's trial and shield the reputations of everyone tangled in it. On the surface, these two trials appear to share nothing, completely separate, purely coincidental timing. That is, until alleged insiders close to Johnny Depp suggested otherwise, that these weren't two random cases running parallel, but two stories that were deeply, deliberately linked. If the rumors hold, it was a calculated distraction, a smokescreen, because Maxwell's client list, if it ever surfaced publicly, had the power to destroy lives at the very highest levels. And here is exactly where the two stories collide. If those rumors carry any truth, Amber Heard was among the names that couldn't afford to be exposed.
You didn't see what caused any of the injuries you claim to have seen during the course of their relationship, right? Other than the staircase incident.
Yeah, the staircase incident is the only one that I saw.
But you have seen your sister land a blow on Mr. Depp, right?
That was the time, yes.
The Depp-Heard trial was broadcast everywhere, clipped, shared, and replayed across every corner of the internet. The Maxwell-Epstein trial couldn't have been more different. No cameras. No footage. No viral moments. Barely a whisper in mainstream media. Officially, this comes down to the distinct rules separating federal and state courts on courtroom recording. But the sheer scale of that contrast points to something far less procedural. A conscious, coordinated effort to keep Epstein and Maxwell's proceedings invisible to the public. The gap in how these two trials were treated exposes something uncomfortable, that what reaches our screens is rarely accidental. It's curated, shaped, and controlled by those with the most to lose. Amber Heard's early career required approval from powerful financiers, and rumors have long placed her within circles connected to Epstein's world. Her relationship with Depp was volatile and deeply fractured. But once it ended, she emerged rebranded, a domestic abuse survivor, a Me Too figurehead, a woman with a platform. She graced Glamour magazine, championed various causes, and co-authored a Washington Post op-ed drafted by the ACLU. Online, many began theorizing that Amber was being positioned, a carefully placed front, used to advance agendas and promote products, including crypto exchanges, possibly without ever grasping the full picture behind it. Jeffrey Epstein sat at the center of an enormous web of academia, intelligence, celebrity, and political power all knotted together. His circle included Bill Clinton, Bill Gates, Noam Chomsky, and Leslie Wexner, the financier behind Victoria's Secret, who maintained one of the closest known ties to Epstein. The World Economic Forum and numerous foundations folded into his network. These connections allegedly enabled everything: trafficking, blackmail, money laundering, and a series of foundations built as operational fronts. His reach even extended into social justice spaces, with his name attached to movements like Time's Up despite the weight of his crimes. And who else was loudly championing social justice causes while carrying a deeply controversial personal history? Amber Heard. Many now believe she wasn't simply caught in the periphery, but an active, if manipulated, participant within Epstein-adjacent circles. Her ties to organizations linked to his network, including UN Women and the little-understood Terramar Foundation, point towards something deeper than coincidence. Her polished Me Too identity, many argue, wasn't organic. It was engineered, a constructed narrative, propped up by media institutions with their own ties to the World Economic Forum. Amber gave the world a masterclass in what textbook narcissism and calculated cruelty truly look like. Anyone still standing in her corner can only be described as someone who bows before darkness itself. She wasn't a victim. She's a calculated manipulator who walked into every decision with open eyes. For the love of everything right, stop handing her excuses she hasn't earned and doesn't deserve. Amber was the kind of person who would sacrifice anything, and anyone, to climb higher. She knew exactly what she was doing, every move was calculated, every decision deliberate. Like a true narcissist, the collateral damage never registered. She was among those who lured young women in, and naivety was never part of her story. She was sharp, streetwise, and dangerously self-aware. That's precisely why so many people, shockingly, to those watching, still bent to her will. She holds secrets on powerful names, and she wields them without hesitation. Blackmail isn't just a weapon for her, it's her crown. Larry read her perfectly. Absolutely spot on. Some people possess a gift for bending reality so completely that watching it unfold turns your stomach. She can't even push the lies out smoothly, stumbling over her own accusations. Staggering, truly. Amber is no victim. Every move was calculated, every word deliberate. There is nothing fragile about her. She is a calculated disruptor, dangerous by design. I'd go as far as saying she would have walked straight into that corruption with open arms, knowing precisely how to make herself indispensable, in the way only Amber knows how. If anything, she strikes me as someone who would have operated comfortably alongside Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, or worse, competed with Ghislaine for the position entirely. Darkness in its purest, most deliberate form.
Nothing I've ever had to go through. I hope no one ever has to go through something like this. I just want Johnny to leave me alone. I just want him to leave me alone. I've said that for years now, and I thought he would after 2020.
Objection non-responsive.
All right, I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
But how exactly did Johnny Depp become the face of someone else's scandal? A detailed testimony from Depp's own agent pulled back the curtain on a deeply tangled web, one involving Depp, Amber Heard, and Elon Musk. This agent, someone who held the trust of both Depp and Heard, stepped forward with a first-hand account of what unfolded in the aftermath of Heard's divorce filing in May 2016, the quiet attempts to salvage the relationship, and Heard's growing closeness with Musk. After Heard formally filed for divorce, she turned to this same agent, confiding in him about the emotional weight she was carrying. She then made a direct request: help bridge the gap between her and Depp. Arrange a meeting. The agent obliged. After some hesitation, Depp agreed to show up. But there was a legal wall standing between them, an active restraining order that kept Depp at a court-mandated distance from Heard. To ease those concerns, Heard personally assured the agent she would never claim Depp had violated it. Legal counsel was likely brought in to keep everything above board. Then came one of the trial's most explosive claims, that Depp hurled his phone at Heard, leaving her injured. She used that allegation as the foundation of a 2016 restraining order, citing repeated physical abuse. Yet when LAPD officers arrived that same night, they found no evidence of any crime. So the real question lingers. Was Amber Heard a willing player inside Epstein's circle, or was she a pawn being quietly moved? Did she position Johnny Depp as a public spectacle to pull eyes away from the Maxwell courtroom? Was the entire Depp-Heard trial engineered as a distraction? And the question that haunts everything, who else is woven into this network? Who else weaponized headlines to bury darker secrets? And whose name surfaces next? 2 trials. Same moment in time. One flooded every screen. One barely made the news. One woman battled for her image. One battled to keep her name buried in sealed documents. The strategy held. The world watched Depp versus Heard. Almost no one watched Maxwell. And Heard's name never surfaced in the Epstein files. Or did it? Drop your thoughts below. Was Amber Heard connected to Epstein's network? Did she use Johnny Depp as the curtain? And who gets exposed next?